Hey everybody, it's Scott O'Model back for another Minecraft video. Hope everybody's having a great day, guys. In this video, we're going to cover how to set up a LiveSplit, which is a timer for speedrunners. All right, and we're going to go through the whole process of installing it, setting it up, and then putting it in OBS. All right, so I'll divide this off into chapters, guys, so you can navigate between it, but try to stick around for the whole video and support other people if they need help and stuff like that. But I'm happy to answer any questions as well. Okay, so what we want to do is go to the downloads page here on livesplit.org. Downloads, I'll leave a link in the description, and get the top one down here, whatever the newest version is. All right, and so when you pull it down to your disk, it's going to be a zip file. So go to your downloads folder and locate that, and then right click on it and use a zip extractor, something like 7-zip or whatever, to extract the archive. All right, so here it is right here. Now you'll want to move it somewhere else on your system generally, you know, the root at your C drive or folder or whatever, because this is a portable application. All of its settings and everything are self-contained within the folder. It doesn't add anything to the Windows Start menu or anything like that. All right, so you'll want to put it in a location where you know, or make a shortcut to it or what have you. All right, let's go ahead and launch it. And when we do so, we'll see this timer window. All right, so this is the window here. Now, generally, we want to kind of move it around out of the way, because sometimes windows will come over the top of it when you're configuring them. And it's just easier to manage if you move it out of the way and then move it back into position. So the first thing we want to do is right click on the window and choose Edit Splits, the first menu item, and we want to select our game. So Minecraft is the game that we're going to configure for, and we're going to do Minecraft Java. So find Minecraft Java edition in the list and then select that. Okay, now we can choose, we need to make some settings of where the folder is. All right, now I'm going to use MultiMC to do that. You can do it in the regular launcher, and if you do choose to use the regular launcher, be sure to set up a separate profile, separate from the main saves folder and all that, because by default this is set to the main saves folder. So if I click on it, I choose settings, you can see the windows all freaking get in each other's way. That's kind of a bug in this, so you kind of need to move them out of the way first before you can configure them. All right, so it uses your main system folder, but you generally don't want that, again, because you may do a number of speed runs or run different versions of Minecraft or what have you. So definitely create a separate profile if you're using the official launcher, but we're going to use MultiMC launcher, which makes it a lot easier because you can keep everything separate from each other. All right, completely different versions of Minecraft that you're speedrunning, those self-contained folders and all that. I have a tutorial on the channel about MultiMC installation. I'll leave a link to that in the description and on the card on the screen now. So let's create a new instance. So right click in the window or use the add instance button up there, and we're going to do 1.16.5 just as an example. That's the newest Minecraft. All right, so we need to launch one time. That this just creates the necessary things to pull it down. We need to launch one time so that a saves folder and all that is created. All right, so let's do that and then quit the game. And if you go out on disk by choosing edit or choosing the right clicking and choosing Minecraft folder, then you'll see that the saves and stuff are in here. We want to reference this folder right here. So wherever you've placed MultiMC on your file system is where we'll want to get it. We're going to do the edit splits again. Let that window come up and get it out of our way. All right, and then choose settings for it, and then choose the change saves location and go out and browse for it on your computer. So we're going to grab it here in MultiMC apps is where I have it, or MC apps, MultiMC apps. So go down to that and then go into that MultiMC folder that you saved it. I have a number of them. Mine's in one called speed tests, and go inside of there and choose that version of the instance that you have, 1.16.5, and choose the saves folder, all right, for that. So just browse to that in your file system. In the regular launcher, you would just go to where you created the profile and find that saves folder, all right? So we have that, and we can hit OK now. From this window, set that up. You don't really want to do the enable auto timer or auto whatever it's called. because in Minecraft, it will link it to a specific save. All right, so if you delete that save, which you will in between speed runs and stuff, then it's going to lose track of it and it's going to complain about it. So it's best just to leave that off and trigger it manually, and I'll show you how to set that up. But we should be good here. We can deactivate now, and to be sure that our settings that we saved get reactivated when we edit them again. Okay, so let's close the window right here, and then right click on this, and we're going to set up our layout now. So there's two sections. We set up our splits. Now we're going to set up the layout. We'll choose edit layout from the menu there, and it gives you a default layout, which is not of much use to us. We're going to eliminate most of this stuff. We don't need the titles. We don't need the splits. We'll leave this one timer, and we'll get rid of that, and we'll hit the plus sign to add another timer. So choose timer from the list there, and not detailed timer, but a regular timer. Get that from the list here, timer. And we'll configure each one of these separately. Now I'm going to use the style that Illuma HD does in his videos, which is a vertical layout. So you could select vertical or horizontal here, where the real-time timer is on the top and the game time timer is on the bottom. All right, and they're centered. So we want to configure this. So select the first timer and double click on it, and then we're going to set its timing method to be real time. So that item in the list, real time. Now we'll set the next one here. So double click again. We'll set it to game time. All right, and then we can go through and adjust them a bit to look better. All right, so choose layout settings, the bottom from the bottom here, and a layout window will pop up, and at the top there's tabs for each one of the elements that we've added. So there's the main layout, then there's the layout for the two timers. All right, so in the main layout, one thing that we do want to change is the background color to be full black. So click that little black square, and then be sure all these RGB values are set to 0. In OBS, we're going to do a Luma key is what it's called, and it's best if the background's all black. It's much easier to set up that way. So all your HSV should go to 0. Just be sure it's all zeros in the window there. Now that's totally black. Okay, we'll leave the font as it is. You can go through and choose different fonts. Maybe at the end of the video, I'll just show you how to install a font. We can leave these as the same. We're not using timers or anything. Mainly what we're doing right now is this is the Calibri bold for this one. All right, but let's configure the timers themselves. So we'll click that, and the first thing we're going to want to do is align the center on it, and then we want to set the formats. Again, going off of what Illuma HD does, we'll choose the third item in the list here, which is the hour, the minutes, the seconds, and we're going to get rid of the decimals. All right, he doesn't have the decimals. It's not needed, and we'll select those, a blank one from the top. These are the decimal format section here. All right, so I'm happy at that. We can leave the size and stuff as it is for right now. All right, so in the next one, which is our real time, our in-game timer, we'll select that, and then we'll choose the item from the list that includes the microseconds as such. All right, and we'll leave the microseconds to be 2 decimal places like that, but we're going to change the decimal size. All right, so we'll reduce it down to about 1/4 of the size, and it's a line center, and all that's fine. Okay, so we'll go ahead and accept all this. Should be good and everything. Just be sure to adjust this background color, guys, and then if you want to do different sets of colors and stuff for different states, then you can do that. All right, so again, I'm happy with that. That's fine. So we'll hit OK, and then that will finish our layout for that. Now we want to go into some settings, and we want to choose keybinds. All right, so I'm going to do a Control-Alt left to start and split. For the reset, I'm going to do Control-Left right. Now you may have different preferences, but just select the thing and hit your key, select the text field here and hit your desired keybinds in each one of those. Those are the only ones we really need to set up, is start and reset. Okay, so that all should be fine. Let's move it into position on the screen where we would want to see it over the game. All right, so for the game itself, let's go ahead and launch. quickly. And one thing that you're going to want to do is set up a windowless or a borderless full screen window. All right. So I have a video on the channel about that. I'll leave a card up, and then I will link it in the description as well. But let me turn off the music. I'm going to use this app called Borderless Minecraft to do it. Okay. It's a pretty easy app to use. So select Borderless Minecraft. Again, I'll have a video on the channel about it. We want to refresh the list so that we can see the window that's been launched. Select it and choose Go Borderless. All right, and it'll go full screen. You can see that the timer's over the top. Now, this is what we'll actually see in the game. All right, you know, when we create a new world, this is what we'll see. All right, and that's all fine. So let's now go ahead and set up MultiMC, or set up OBS, I mean. All right, so I'm going to lead you through the whole process of that, but I'm going to get OBS launched here, and this is first setup, so it'll ask you, do you want to optimize for streaming? Recording is secondary. We'll go ahead and do that. You could just choose recording itself. Choose your current resolution. Don't do any scaling or anything like that. FPS either 60 or 30, but prefer 60. That's a good setting. Next, we're not going to set up our streaming or anything right now, so I'm fine on that. And we'll just go ahead and accept basically these values. Or you'd set up your streaming keys and stuff like that in there. All right, so now we need to set up the sources here. So if you already have some sources set up in your OBS, then you'll want to create a new scene. All right, it's scenes that select amongst various sources, because we're going to set up these windows as sources. All right, so go down to your sources section and hit the plus button, and then we're going to choose window capture as a source. All right, so when pop-up will go, and you can name it if you want. We'll just name it timer, for instance, and hit OK on that. And then we want to select that window. So from window, go through and find LiveSplit, livesplit.exe. It'll show you a preview of it. We don't need to capture the cursor in it, and we'll leave everything else as being fine in that. All right. Then you can position it along the video canvas. You know, you may want it to hug the edge or like that, and that's fine. Okay, so now let's set up the game window. So hit the plus again in the sources, and this time choose game capture. All right, we're going to capture the game window. You could name it, you know, whatever you want. Let's just say Minecraft, and then I'll put MMC for MultiMC and hit OK. And now, instead of capture any full screen application, we want to capture a specific window. That way, every time you launch MultiMC, regardless of the version, it should select it. All right, so we want to select javaw.exe from the list. Now, it'll tell you that window name, but you'll see that this setting here says match title, otherwise find a window of the same executable. So any of the javaw exes, which are what's, you know, Minecraft uses, then that would work for you. Okay, so we'll keep all this is fine, and hit OK. All right, so we want to reorder this one to be below it, so you can drag it down, or you could use these buttons down here. All right, now the timer is on top of it. So the timer itself, select it again and right click on it and choose filters. All right, now go to the plus sign at the bottom of the window here for the filters and choose Luma key from that list. All right, and you can keep it named Luma key. Its settings, since we set everything black, are just fine. All right, so we'll just leave it like that. That's good. That's pretty much done. Now, one thing you can do as well is you can add a text window, again, going off of what Luma HD does. We'll select that and hit OK. And then inside the text box down here, we'll type PB, personal best. Let's just say, you know, 15 minutes. And then for the world record, let's just say 10 minutes. It doesn't really matter. I don't know what they are right now, but hit OK. And then we'll want to resize this to generally match the size of the other one. All right. And then drag it over to the far right of the screen and hug it up against the window. All right. So we should be set up there. You could start recording here when you're ready. And get your, you know, you want to set up some of the encoding and stuff like that generally, and you'll want to set up your save locations and all that. There's more setup to do, but as far as the timers itself, that'll do it. And you know, there's plenty of tutorials on OBS. So we'll see this on the screen, but we won't see it in OBS beside our keyed one, and that's why we chose to do the windows themselves. All right, so now it's just a matter of testing that our timers, that our keystrokes are going to work. So I just triggered it and it didn't, so we want to go back to the LiveSplit right here and right click on it and choose the edit the layouts again. All right, let that window come up and then activate it. All right, make sure the button's activated. It should remember our settings previously. Now guys, another thing, since you've done a little bit of work, is you might want to go through and save your splits. It'll ask you to do that when you close. It's the layout for them. So it'll see where the folder, the last place that you saved or whatever, but it creates folders inside of the application called splits and layouts. All right, so you'll want to go through and save each one of those so you can call it back up later. I'll just go back to its regular folder right here, LiveSplits, and save, be fine. And then for the layout, save layout, and same thing. Okay, so it'll save them in there. It's going to ask you a name. We'll just say Minecraft layout, like that. Okay, and then you can call them back up later, open them, open layout, open splits, so you can have different settings that you want to use. Okay, now let's test the timer. Couldn't find the Minecraft world save. So it's got a weird thing that it does where it just switches back and forth. Like, you kind of have to configure it. It's weird how you do it. But let's go to settings again and go to that save location. It referred back to the well, it didn't actually. No, I'm sorry. It didn't do that. We need to set up our single player world. All right, so we'll accept this. This is fine. We need to create our world, then pause. And again, it's reading from that saves folder. So any saves that are in there. Now let's see if we can't. Timer triggered. I'm in the settings window. Right. Yeah. Okay. So now we can start our speed run. And of course, I'm on an ocean and what have you. So I wouldn't run this, but basically, there's two things. The real game time, you need to configure manually. So each time, you do the run, start it manually. Then to do the in-game time, it's only going to do it every 5 minutes. To do it, that's just how Minecraft works, unless you hit pause, and then it'll update the game time. And so you can go from there. If you stay paused too long, then obviously your game time and your real time are going to get out of sync and all that kind of stuff. All right. But that's the basic principles of it. Again, we're seeing the black. Let's go ahead and reset it with the keybind. Just not working. Let me check that setting. That splits. Settings looks right. Okay, this would be the reset one. All right, there it goes. So if that didn't take for some reason, that's fine. All right, so there's the reset. But again, you're seeing the black over the top. Your viewership or your recording wouldn't see that. It would see the keyed version of it. All right. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. It's pretty simple to do. Actually, I think I will quickly just to be thorough, in case there's people that are wondering or whatever, we'll go ahead and quit Minecraft. Again, if you get rid of those saves, any save that you open, you'll have access to it because it's reading that whole saves folder. And when you're done, just exit this. It's going to ask you, do you want to save ones? If you haven't saved them already, we did make some changes to that splits, so it'll remember. All right, now on a font, if you wanted a custom font, then find one you like to download online, and we're using the digit 7, for instance. So you just grab it and then get the TTF version of it. All right, there's various ones in here. This one's the mono. You can install multiples, but right click on it and choose preview so you could see it. Windows font viewer is fine. And this will show you the preview of it, and then hit install. All right, you want to install that on your system, and this is a pretty good digit display, like kind of a digital LED type display or whatever. Okay, so that's pretty simple to do, guys, but I just wanted to point that out because I've seen people have questions about how to install fonts and stuff like that. But that should get you everything you need to start timing your speed runs and recording them, and keying it over the top to where it looks nice. And of course you can go through and adjust all your formats and all that kind of stuff. You can either even share the format files with people if you want to do that. Again, they are located in the main downloads folder, or wherever you had it, in the main LiveSplit folder. And you can create folders inside of that as well for splits and logs and all that. But here they are right here. Okay, so you can choose to share those files, and they have a different extension according to it. The layout has the LSL, and the split has LSS as extensions. Anyway, guys, hope this was helpful to you. Leave a like if so, and I do so much appreciate you watching, and good luck in your speed runs. It's Scott O'Mato. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.